All right. So this is how this is going to look from now on. Essentially, I needed to remove as much friction from this video creation process as possible. So what we're going to do now is just this speak to you organically. Maybe I'll write down a few talking points before going into a video, but no scripting, more off the cuff, just conversation. My goal here is to make this whole process of creating videos online as smooth and seamless as possible. And I found that with my life and where I am in life right now, with family and young kids and running a business and all this kind of stuff, I really have a tendency of overcomplicating things and making things harder than they need to be when it comes to, starting a new habit. And I think that's what this is. This is for me the habit of creating content and speaking on camera and developing this muscle is something that I've been thinking about for a long time and have a tendency of overthinking things and making them more complicated and more involved than they need to be rather than just starting. And this format, I've come to the conclusion that this format is going to be the way that I can actually show up and try to provide some sort of value to whoever ends up viewing this channel. Obviously, if you don't know me, I can just kind of give you a brief introduction of who I am. My name's Adam Sewell. I've been a production studio owner for over a decade. Back when I first got started in this industry, well, let me go back even further then. So you may notice an accent. I live in the US now, but I grew up in England. I moved to the US in 2010 to attend college. I was recruited out of England to play soccer in college, and I did that for 3.5 years. My second year of college, I met my wife, and we, obviously stayed in and around the area that we are now. We're in North Carolina, and from there, while I was in college, I developed a love for creation and, just being creative and developing that creative muscle through whether that was music. I'm not a musical guy, but I had a friend or a teammate in college that was a musician, so I was very involved in helping him pursue his musical endeavors and just by simple things like being there to press record in the recording studio, that naturally evolved into making music videos, which we did. And then that evolved into my love and passion for video production, which ultimately landed me a job at NASCAR, then for one of the largest additive manufacturing companies in the world, heading up all of their global video and photography initiatives. And then from there, starting my own studio, which has been around for over a decade. And, we work with some of the largest brands in the world with multi-million dollar budgets. And that's ultimately puts me to where I am today, where I definitely have some views on where the future of video production is going and what that looks like and how businesses and just how businesses can take advantage of where we are currently as an industry. And those are the sorts of things I want to talk about on this channel. It's just bringing attention to some things that may be outdated, and things that businesses can do to take advantage of technology and advancements that have happened over the past decade, more specifically, I guess, over the last few years in particular. But uh, essentially, I believe there's a better way of doing things, and my job is to pass that education along and teach businesses how to approach the content creation game, the creation of high quality video assets, um, and teach them to do that in a more efficient way, because there are more efficient ways to do it. I've built my production studio around efficiency and scalability and being able to expand and contract depending on the size of any given project. We work on projects from, I don't know, our minimum ticket item now is probably around the $25,000 mark, and we work on projects up to multiple $1 million. So and you cannot do that if you have a certain team structure or a certain way of approaching a project. So that's the sort of stuff I want to talk about on here. And again, in this format in particular, like this organic sit down, talk to the camera, say what I need to say, and then get out. And hopefully, some of you can resonate with it and and take something away from it ultimately, because this is what it's here for. It's not only is it for me selfishly to I need to personally improve my speaking to the camera, my speaking in general, my articulation of points and theories and ideas. That's one of the main reasons that I'm doing this. But obviously, like if I can bring value to you guys and maybe you can learn something and you know transparently, if you end up being a good fit for the services that I offer from a consultation or a coaching standpoint, then hopefully you will see that as a win-win. It's obviously a win for me, and I can provide value to you to help your business grow and scale and implement video production 2.0 into your business. So that's what we're going to be doing here. I've set myself a goal. I'm not going to disclose it right here, but I definitely have an internal goal of creating X amount of pieces over X amount of time, and I'm going to stick to it and see where it lands. Because the current my current outlook and approach to this platform and this type of content has really prevented me from gaining any kind of momentum or creating content consistently because of the amount of work and man hours it might need to produce one piece. And we're going to completely reverse engineer that. We're going to flip that on its head, and we're going to say, we're going to sit down, we're going to not cut. So I don't want to be sit down editing. Editing is one of my least favorite things to do. And I don't want to outsource editing because this is not making money. And, maybe one day when it does make money, it will be outsourced. And then we can talk about looking at a more produced type or style of video. But to start with, I don't want to do anything. I want to shoot and upload and, provide value along the way. So that's what we're going to do. A little bit waffly, but I needed to make this video as a benchmark for myself and something to look back on, and more of as an accountability thing. Excuse me. Um, and we're gonna do more value stuff. So if you're watching this for the first time and you want to, follow along on this journey, I guess hit the like and subscribe and all that stuff that people say on YouTube. And yeah, let's chat together and let's you know let's figure out where this thing's going to go. But I think there's some value I can provide, and you know, hopefully you guys think so too.